Okay, this is my Holzhausen. It's about 6.5 feet tall and 10 feet in diameter. I stacked it up in early June and now it's late September and we're preparing for a hurricane here, and so I thought I'd get some wood in the house now before it gets all wet with the expected rain. It looks like it's dried out pretty well. It's a good deal darker than when I stacked it anyway. The Holzhausen has 3 full cords in it. It took me about a week, working about maybe 2 or 3 hours a day on it. And it looks like it's dried out pretty well. I was wondering about the interior. This is the first time I'm getting a look at it. And the logs in there, they look pretty gray, as they should. So, all in all, good signs. One advantage of a Holzhausen over traditionally stacked firewood is the relatively small footprint that it takes up in your yard. A traditional Holzhausen will hold about 6 cords and is 10 feet in diameter and 10 feet tall. So, the first step is to establish a circle in your yard. In my case, one 10 feet in diameter. Then, start your bottom course by laying logs parallel to the line you've established, and all the way around. Then, start placing logs perpendicular to the bottom course. This will mean that the front of the log will be off the ground, and the rear of the log will be touching the ground. This will mean that future courses will lean inward, toward the center of the pile. This gives your Holzhausen stability. So as your Holzhausen gets taller, the walls are going to have a tendency to bulge outward. But for your Holzhausen to remain stable, they have to tilt inward against the interior wood pile. To achieve that, you're going to need to add these horizontal pieces. The roof is very important to a Holzhausen, so as you're stacking up your wood pile, you should cull pieces which have a lot of bark on one side, and you can use those for the roof. Also, when you're making your roof, you might want to start your first course just sort of sticking out a little bit like this to act as a rain catch. So that's basically it. I recommend that you keep the nicer pieces for the external walls, cull the pieces with good bark on them for the roof, and then throw the rest in the center. Easy peasy.